Hi, welcome to my channel, Grit, Grind and Gratitude, where we talk to micro entrepreneurs about their journey of becoming a micro entrepreneur and walking that path. Grit, Grind and Gratitude shares stories of resilience, of purpose, and values led entrepreneurs who are shaping their futures boldly. So, tell us a bit about yourself, Vaishali and Mehtab, and what do you guys do together? I remember that I met Vaishali and you because I'm gluten intolerant, and my search for gluten intolerant masalas, spices brought me to you.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's
That's how you
start.
found us and Kitchen Secrets.
Yes. Yes. So tell us about Kitchen Secrets. Tell us what happened, what was happening in your lives before you launched Kitchen Secrets, and then how did Kitchen Secret come about? Let's start there.
So basically, I am Mehtab Naladaru. I am born and brought up in Bombay, and I just a little bit where I can speak on part of Vaishali as well. But please, I'm sorry if by mistake if I call her Pinky, because we are childhood friends, and I'm so used to for all my life calling her that. So sometimes it just comes out Pinky, which is her nickname. And we're childhood friends. We're sisters, literally sisters. We were neighbors, grown up together, and I did my schooling, my college there. After that, in Bombay itself. After that, I finished my graduation there. I was a cabin crew with Indigo Airlines, always wanted to be a cabin crew. And after Indigo Airlines, I used to do some events. Then I joined the Narang Group as a sales and marketing representative. Then after that, I went to UK. I did my master's in international business. And while I was doing my master's, I realized that I really missed flying and I wanted to get back to flying. So after I finished my degree there, I joined Etihad Airways directly from UK. I applied. And then I came to Abu Dhabi 2014, 27th April. I still remember that day. And then I have been in Abu Dhabi since then. After then COVID hit, but I was fortunate enough that just before COVID started in 2019, actually since 2016, 2017, I always wanted to be a pilot. And there was a program called the Cadet Pilot Program with Etihad, so I applied for it. But then some rules changed and things happened where only locals were supposed to be they were only hiring locals. So then my plan went a little down because I waited for 3 years and my age was just going because there's a barrier for 30 at that time. Then I said, okay, no, if I want to pursue my pilot thing, then I went to Sharjah now it's known as Air Arabia Aviation Academy. At that time it was called Alpha. So I applied there. So then when COVID hit, I was redundant by Etihad. But at the same time, I already had a plan B because I was going to resign in July and I got redundant in June. So like it said, whatever happens, happens for a reason. And at least someone who really wanted a job at that time could keep the job because I was anyways going to resign after a month, So I joined the training there. So I finished my training and then I was in the process since then. So I am a type-rated A320 pilot as of now, as we say. But last year, Vaishali and I, how it happened is I think she came home for a stay over for a night or something, and we were just talking, and then she asked me because we cooked, and then she said, do you have some of the Dana Jeera masala? I don't have the time to make it right now because she has a little one and of course it's really busy for her, I said, yeah, sure, just made some, take it. And I gave her 1 or 2 masalas. And then I remember her next day calling me and she's like, it was so nice, la la la. Why don't we start something? We're so good at it. I said, let's do it. It was literally a call that started at 10 p.m. and then we kept on talking. And then I think that's how it just started. A really random, the basic masala, which is a Dana Jeera masala, which is, we've grown up to that in my kitchen, in her mom's kitchen, in her kitchen, it's like, and then we just kept on talking about it. And then I think within a month, we already knew what we wanted. We started getting the products and everything just fell in place at that time. And that's how Kitchen Secret was, of course, born.
Such an amazing pilot and cooking, flying and cooking.
At the moment, I'm not flying. Like it's say, God always has its own his own plans. So at this point, I'm not flying, but I'm only taking my business because some things went here and there. I only have about 350 hours, but not flying at this point. But hopefully soon, I don't know, whatever is in future, we'll see. But at this point, it's only my baby, which is Kitchen Secrets.
Wow, that's so lovely. Vaishali, what's your story till you came to launching Kitchen Secrets?
So I come from, again, like we both have been together since childhood, and we are hustlers, and we are so into women. Like even at the young age when we started working, if I'm not wrong, I was hardly 17 years old or something. We had like just got into getting some little bit of work here and there, and we were always like ambitious and passionate about doing something and earning our own money. And well, that began, and we were always together. Then later on, we had something else in our lives. I took up a corporate job. I was working with a apparel group in India, in Mumbai. Then luckily, I got a job here. So I moved here at the age of 23, which was a very big decision for myself to just come here all alone by myself and manage my life and work and everything. And always been a retail executive. I've been in retail since 9 years. And after a point of time, I just felt that the work is getting monotonous. I'm not enjoying my work. And for me, the passion should always be alive, in order. So money comes secondary. But of course, if I'm passionate about something, then I'll keep doing that thing. Well, then I just, so my last job was also in retail while I was already a mother of a 2-year-old son, and juggling between motherhood and job and household chores and everything. And then I'm like, no, I don't want to do this. I want to have my own business or something. I come from a Gujarati family, so I believe that's in the DNA that we want to do our own business, probably. So then I felt that let's do something. So I have like been, brainstorming what shall I do? What am I good at? Thought of multiple ideas, things, but I was not getting that right idea where I was like, okay, let's do this one. And then as Mahtab said, this Kitchen Secret idea was very random, out of nowhere. Like, when it's meant to happen, it happens on its own. That's how Kitchen Secret happened. And we were like, okay, let's just do it. We don't have to think left or right. Let's just go ahead with it because it just feels right that moment. And that's how we went. And so far we are running this business since 1.5 years now. And yes, we are licensed in UAE, and hopefully, yes, we'll grow more and more in future. So also, just to give you a gist of Kitchen Secrets, so also one of the reasons to start Kitchen Secret was also to provide the customers and basically all the end users the kind of a product which is preservative free, which is without any additives, without any color, no nasty, just pure ingredients, and which is what we felt was missing in this market. And we wanted to capture that niche, and which is why we have Kitchen Secrets, which is a clean label brand. That's our drive now.
So I'm so thankful that I came across Kitchen Secrets because I also make my own masalas, purely because there are no such options in the market. There is so much of hidden gluten that comes in the masalas. Also, I don't know what kind of stuff goes in. It just doesn't agree with my body. But when it comes to so I make the basic masalas, 2 basic masalas, and I'm pretty clean at eating. But when it comes to pav bhaji or sambar masala or something special like a chole masala, obviously the taste is slightly different when you use the proper combination. And
yes,
being a working mom and handling and this whole shifting of geographies, there was just your product was like heaven sent to me. I was like, okay, I can do this. Like, I can just blindly. I kept on, and I'm garlic intolerant as well. So I kept on asking Vaishali, are you sure these are garlic free? Because a lot of masalas they will have garlic, and you wonder why. Even dips, you wonder why should hummus have gluten? If you look at a
Yeah,
pure hummus recipe,
yeah, correct.
it shouldn't be any gluten. But if
Right.
you buy any store-bought gluten, it will say hummus, it will say gluten in it. Yeah,
Oh, never noticed that actually.
Yeah.
yeah.
Now
And
that we are in the spices business, if we are in the supermarket, we keep checking the labels that is mentioned,
Yeah.
the
yeah,
boxes of all the
yeah,
masalas and stuff.
yeah.
So I didn't know that, but I will go and check once if I'm in the supermarket about
Yeah,
the.
so I'm just sick and tired of manufacturing my own food, like so much of it from the basics. So it was like, okay, I can trust some people with
Thank you.
certain part of my cooking. It's easier to just kind of plop in masala, which already has that mix of things. Yeah, and I love your Malwani masala as well. Yeah. So, and I'm sure there would be more and more people who are willing to, as I spread the word also, there are more and more people like me who are in the market who are waiting to kind of get the stuff.
Yeah.
Tell me what happened. So after that night of discussion and then, so tell me what happened after that, step by step.
So I was so after we discussed and all, coincidentally, Matab had a trip planned to India, to Mumbai, and she's like, I'm going to go to the markets there and hunt all the spices and get the best of the suppliers, and we'll procure from there and decide the brand name, decide the stickering, the branding, and how it's going to be. What our packaging going to be look like? What are the products we are going to start with? We started collecting all our old granny's recipe. I started taking recipes from my mom, she started taking recipes from her mom, and here and there with all our aunts and stuff. And so we started so there were a lot of recipes which were already in use in our households, so we collected those. And she found out some suppliers in India. So basically all our spices, the whole spices, it comes from India. We don't procure anything here. The reason being the quality, number one, because there are multiple grades of in spices, and we wanted to start with something which we wanted to tell the customers that we are procuring the best of the quality of spices, which is why the results are the best. When you smell our masalas, I mean, we don't have to do the talking. Our product does the talking itself, So that was one of the reasons we were very particular about that, from whom we are buying our spices, and how are we going to do it. So for now, as you are aware, like, we make our own blends and we have our own recipes which we tried and tested by us, and it, I think, took us a month and a half to finalize everything and decide which recipes are we going to go ahead with and try and test. We did a test run with all our husbands and friends and family and everything. We started giving out samples to them and asked them to cook and try it out and all of that. And after that, we were like 100% sure that we can roll out this menu, and then we just rolled out, and it started with word of mouth.
How many masalas were there in the initial launch?
I think we had like around 18,
Yeah.
16 to 18 masalas.
16 to 18, right? Yeah.
Then we added some more, so now we have like 22 blends, and then our range of flaxseed and peanut chutney, which is the dry chutney, which is ready to eat. It contains nuts, but it is so versatile. Like, you can have that literally with everything.
Yeah.
It's like a tight thing. And from kids to oldies to uncles and aunties, everybody relishes that. So
Yeah.
we love seeing that happy faces on people's, when the people they try our stuff and then they are like very excited and they were like, oh, we've been looking for something so clean and so tasty and delicious. Because of course, when there is something, not pure, or there are a lot of, adulteration happening in the masalas or be it any kind of food, the taste varies.
110%.
And it
So-
has no garlic. Sorry.
So when we do our pop-up markets, and the reason to be on the face of people and to explore these pop-up markets and exhibitions this year, we have been really exhausting and busy for us. Not that we are complaining, yeah, but we really enjoyed looking at the expressions of the people when they taste our stuff, they smell our spices, and they give the feedback there itself that, oh, this smells delicious, it smells heaven. I mean, when I take that home, I don't have to put any effort in cooking. I just have to add this masala and simple here and there things, and then it's done. So we feel like we are on the right path right now and
Great.
doing a good job.
Yeah, you are on the right path. Please keep going and keep adding. I was prepping to carry some food for my daughter and my nephew, and I was thinking, oh, only if they had, that dal wala hota nahi hai, what is it called?
Did you tell her?
So many requests
Yes.
to start ready to eat dal mixes and the khichdi mix and like those mixes where you just
Yeah.
add water
Water.
and you can just ready to eat stuff, especially the dal.
Also,
I thought she told you as well,
no,
about it.
no.
so-
There is a dal which is a assortment of all dals, and then you grind them and you just
So-
add it. Metkut, yes, metkut.
Metkut.
Have you heard of metkut?
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah. So
I mean,
metkut
the
is-
product could be that, but I've not heard about the name. Like it's known
Okay,
as
so
Metkut.
metkut is a very Maharashtrian thing.
Maharashtrian.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you just make hot rice and then you have the dry roasted dals, and obviously it has something. It has some fenugreek and some other stuff.
Yeah. Lot of
And
things.
then you dry roast it, and then you kind of add it with ghee, and that's like a full meal, right? You
Yeah.
can
It's more like a podi.
It's like a
masala.
podi thing.
Yeah.
Okay. But
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. I was thinking, oh, I must ask Vaishali, they should make podi, because I have just so many ideas that I keep bombarding Vaishali with. Vaishali, yay,
No, we
like
love
this.
No. It's a blessing for us. It's always something, and this dal thing is what we really want to. But this last 2 months have been really busy with exhibitions,
I
like
can
we said,
totally
not
believe
complaining, but just we haven't had the time to sit into it and try something, or experiment, and then not experiment, but like try making different things, what turns out better. But we will come out with the dal thing for sure, like for sure.
And then
We've
there
had
is a
so many
curry patta podi, and then
Podi,
there is a moringa leaves
Podi.
podi, and
Yeah.
so our chutneys are so famous actually. Anyways,
Yeah,
And it's healthy. The moringa
Mm.
one right now, it's like crazy trend. It's trending like really crazily,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
so many of our customers do ask me, do you do this? Even during exhibitions, they've asked us, do you do anything which is based on moringa?
yeah, because everybody's fighting with inflammation.
Yes.
And people are now becoming more and more aware of what is non-inflammatory and or what brings inflammation down. So yeah, so it's amazing. Anyways, I'm sure you'll keep introducing more products at your own pace. But right now, let me ask you, how many employees do you have at Backend? Do you have any, or do you managing completely on your own?
we are managing completely by just 2 women of both of us. Just that's it.
Okay.
And-
of course, we have our little help, but majority of the work is done by me and Mata.
Okay. So tell me, do you have like a distribution of work? So Mahtab is going to concentrate on this, and you are going to concentrate on, say, deliveries, or is there kind of a role, clearly
So for
defined?
me, basically Mahtab is based out of in Abu Dhabi, and I'm in Dubai. So she's handling the Abu Dhabi area and I'm handling the Dubai area. So anything related to customers or products or anything that is to be done in Abu Dhabi, she does it. And whatever has to be looked into in Dubai, I do it. So which is the main and the most important reason to collaborate and be business partners was because of the understanding that we have since childhood with each other. I mean, we fight like cats and dogs.
Yeah.
That's just
You have to. And she's a sister, so that goes without saying,
So we have disagreements, we have a lot of discussions and brainstorming and everything, but at the end of the day, we know we have each other's back. And the main factor to be business partner is trust, and we trust each other like anything. So the work is divided, and it is completely based on understanding, I believe. So something that she's not able to do it, I do it. Something that I'm not able to do it, she does it. So it's the most important thing is communication and trust. That's how only you can run a business as partners.
Chalk and cheese.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if people said, I've met some people who think conflict is bad. I think conflict is necessary for any teams to progress to the next level.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, that moment we might not realize it. We might feel like, oh, why she's saying like this, or why I'm saying like this, or whatever. But then at the end we realize, no, it is betterment for our business, and let's just forget and discuss it out, finish it, and then move on further. So
like the best part about us is we know this, that it's not about me. If I say this or A to C, it's not correct, and it's not for like, oh wow, I said this or you said this, but it's at the end result is the betterment for Kitchen Secrets, and that's what I think both of us 1000% we want. That it's not about who said what, and I think that is very good in a business, and especially for both of us. It's first time that I'm doing my own business. I've always seen my mother do her business because my mom's always had her own travel agency, and she's run the show throughout our lives growing up. So I've seen that, and it always makes me more confident and more proud that. And anytime I always see women here, not just doing something, it just makes me really happy. So like I think Vaishali and I both, we knew that what we wanted, and since the time we knew it, I just hope we keep on and on and on. That's it.
Great. I also hope you keep on and on and on.
Thank you.
So do you plan, did you do any kind of forecasting, especially because I hear that you've studied business. I don't know what Vaishali has studied. Vaishali, what did you study?
So I did my graduation from Mumbai, and that's about it.
No, but in what area?
It was in finance and accounting.
Okay, so one is finance and accounting, another is business overall. So, some people have, sometimes when I talk to micro entrepreneurs, they have problems like, okay, I do not understand this part, and how do I, and they are sitting and stuck with that problem, and they're not able to move past it. Has there been any such problem that you guys have had in terms of okay, I can't do social media management, so somebody else needs to do social media management for me? Or market research, did you guys do some kind of market research before launching, projecting, forecasting numbers, planning the business? How do you do all of that? Do you do it all completely by yourself?
So I think since past 1.5 years, we have been doing everything by ourselves. So for, if I may say, like social media or marketing stuff online, I'm little better off than Mata. So I take the charge for that. Maybe she's good at something else, like one-on-one talking to the customers if there is an issue or something like that. Dealing with the suppliers, that's her forte. I cannot have patience to deal with the suppliers in India. So she does that job very well, and she knows how to keep her cool when dealing with these suppliers in India. So she does that.
Of course, there was, cabin crew training, and it comes in to play.
Yeah,
9 years, yes.
We are chalk and cheese.
Yeah. Basically, I also feel, that since we started, we've taken baby steps. Like, for example, like you saw the glitch we had when we started for the thing. I joined in at 12:30 exact, so I do not have to do anything again, or I don't miss out. But again, when I joined, it went off, and it did take me time to go through. So I'm not I understand technology. I'm not saying I'm so bad as well, but social media, like Vaishali said, she's amazing at it. slowly last 1.5 year that we've started, I've just at least learned to try, and I try and give it an effort, but still she nails it every time she does it. But the other thing is, it's always between both of us. What is amazing is just that when we do something, and if the other one is not great at it, we both, or it could also happen that we both are stuck, not just one, because it's not that both of us need to have an answer to everything. And I have this thing which I always believe, and as an HR, actually I've always used this in my interviews. When they ask me something like, what is your strength? So I always say like these 3 words, which is, I don't know. They're very easy words, but when you have to tell it to someone, they're very difficult. It's not very easy for everybody to say, I don't know, and I feel like for me and for Vaishali both, it's our strength that we can open up to friends. Like she has her friends, and one of her close friends has a big business, and she knows more about it because she's been in the industry way more than Vaishali and I have. So we seek help from them. We always get, we ask people that, hey, is it possible you can guide us here? And I don't think there is any shame in doing that. And the same way, like someone who is just starting, though we're 1.5 years old, but someone who's starting and wants help from us, whatever we can do, we do that. Whatever we've got, I always believe like sharing knowledge or anything is very, very, it's the best thing, and that's how you're going to grow in life. So whenever it's come to anything that we don't know about business, we've always spoken to friends or spoken to someone who's been, and just always touch wood till now, it's been nice that everyone's helped us out, or we've gotten our way through by even doing our own research or something like that.
Yeah, Google comes to the rescue as well for us whenever we are stuck. And then, of course, all our customers also, because we seek for feedbacks and everything. We follow up on feedbacks, and whatever it is, good or bad, negative is more welcome because we are still learning. And it's not like we are perfect in our business or the way we are doing it. And of course, we want to improvise. We are not following a certain SOP as of now because it's a small business. But who knows, in near future, we might have a proper streamlined operations and delivery processes and the way we do the production. And of course, the size of production is also going to increase. So definitely we need to streamline our operations and everything. So for now, we are working on a pattern as whatever is comfortable for both of us and feasible for both of us. So the deliveries to the production, to marketing, to managing the customers, feedbacks, and everything is being managed by both of us, solely by both of us. And yes, hoping to look out to increase our staff strength also, and see where we head now. Next year, maybe, you never know.
Yeah,
And
fingers crossed. We are rooting for your success. Yes. Go ahead, Mahtab. You were saying something.
No, I was just saying sometimes if we're busy and if our husbands want a good meal, the deal is they need to help us. Then they get a good meal. That is the deal.
We are very outspoken, both of us. That is one good strength that we both have. Like wherever we are, we talk about our business, we promote it, we take feedback. So in that ways, we socialize to promote our business, if I can say so.
Yeah. And there's no harm in doing that.
Yeah.
There's just no harm. I always say that if we do not put ourselves out there, who else will?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. It's not their business. So yeah, I completely relate to that fact. Okay. Is there a guiding principle that is kind of sacrosanct when you are deciding on things, when you are taking new decisions, reviewing products, partnering with suppliers? Is there something that is guiding you in terms of either some value that you hold deeply in your heart, or there is like a guiding thought that this is non-negotiable, no
Quality.
matter what?
Quality.
Quality.
Absolutely.
Number one, the reason for starting this business was this brand was to give the best quality of products, and that is something that is non-negotiable at all. Like, I mean, we really buy the A-grade quality of spices, and I think you are the testimony of our products, because you are gluten intolerant and you have a lot of allergy issues, and you've been trying our products, and thank God you are fine. So I mean, you are literally clearly the testimony for Kitchen Secrets that our products are the top quality. So that is something we don't compromise on. So which is why we once we find a great supplier, we are stuck to them because of the quality. And secondly, all the feedback that we get from customers, we might have made mistakes here and there in terms of the taste, probably. And see, now taste is very generic, okay? It cannot be like, something that I like, you might not like it. So, but yes, if I see that majority of the people are giving us the same feedback, then we definitely look into it. So that is something for us, like customer is God for us, like whatever. We are just started off. It's hardly been a year or so. So we definitely take our feedbacks very seriously. We look into it. We follow up with the customers. We go in the depth of the problem, that what went wrong, why it went wrong, how did it go wrong, and all of that. So we don't want to lose any of our customers, basically. So these two things is something that is non-negotiable.
Great. Before you started, did you project some numbers?
We started off with thinking, let's test the waters and go in like all out in terms of the product, and let our product do the talking and see. We will try our best in capacity to market the product, be everywhere, word of mouth, spread the word with our friends and family, relatives, and everywhere. And then we see how is the response. And thankfully, touch wood, whoever has tried, people love our products, and the quality is talking and the taste is talking. So so we did not initially think of numbers. The business was solely a purpose drive where we wanted to put out a good quality product to our customers, and then we see how do we get the returns. So when we had priced it initially also, it was a very competitive price compared to the market brands, which has all the MSG and additives and everything. But solely because we wanted to test that how would our product be with comparing to the product that is there in the outside market. But thankfully now we have a great database of customers who believe in Kitchen Secrets.
So also to add to what Vaishali is saying, the customers of our Kitchen Secrets, of course, when we started, we did only sampling with friends and families. I understand that. But now, to be honest, with the customers that we have, apart from what we meet at exhibitions and who come back to us, we have our customers, the new ones, are always through word of mouth. And I speak, if you have your customers who come to you through word of mouth marketing, those are the best customers who you're going to retain for your life. Because I haven't gone to every door knocking saying, hey, this is what I'm selling. But I know they're coming and they're like, I've heard about you. Wow. Tick mark there. So when we started, and we didn't have numbers when you asked initially, but say approximately 6 months since when we started last year, so in about October, November, we did have a number which said in our minds, not for the amount that we're making or any profit, but about for new customers that we should have. And touch wood, that went up. So that is one which I see more than because in later on what happened is we started something like our dairy products as well. Okay, so that was trading that we did, which is not what we make. We just buy it and we sell it. But apart from that as well, when our masalas were going up, because masala is something someone will buy every 2 weeks, not something every week or every 2 days or 3 days. But dairy product is used almost every day in your kitchen. And in that way, because of either of dairy product or either of masalas, when your list of products that increased and when your list of customers just come, it was amazing. Because now when we sit and we talk, our friends or family will be not even 5% that I can say, will be 2% or 3%. Because let's be honest, how much family do we have here, except for our husbands or their brothers or sisters or mothers or fathers? That's about it. So that's family that we have here. And friends are also just not much, to be honest, of 2% or 3%, but mainly it's only word of mouth customers. And that's the best thing I feel, and really happy that we feel about our business, that the way it's growing.
I always used to say that when I was running my terrarium business, that if I have to depend on my friends to buy my products, then either the friendship will go or the business will go down.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't like, people like it once, they don't like it. It's their choice,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so great. What you're sharing is a typical women's way or a female style of operating, where
Yeah.
you can take your step forward without knowing your numbers and figures. And then as you evolve, you create metrics, and then you evaluate whether the business is doing well or not well. This is a typical feminine way, and not many men
Would
will appreciate
Yeah.
that. How can you start a business without having any projection numbers?
Yeah.
And that's a very, yeah, I know
So to
what
add to this is basically there are two ways to do a business. So either you have a lump sum amount and you pump in all out and you go all out, marketing, on social media, on the hoardings and everywhere, and you launch like 30 products in one go, and you are everywhere, and you buy a retail shop, you spend on your packaging and all of those things. Okay, so you have actually invested a lot of money and you have made a brand after spending a lot of money, and now you want to wait to get the business running and get the money back into the business. But what we have done is that we have invested a very minimum amount in our business, and we started baby steps, and we said let's test one thing at a time and go ahead and see. 1 month ho gaya, now 2 months are gone, now 3 months have gone. So we are rolling in, and safe to say that we didn't have to pump in a hell lot of money, because what we are getting from the business we are using back in the business only.
Yeah,
So
that
that's
is how a micro entrepreneur works.
That is probably how women mind work, or I don't know. Yes.
Also, micro entrepreneurs, whatever money comes in is pulled back in initially few years, because you can't keep money from the business, because you have to grow as well.
And then to add into it, we are in talking terms with some business consultants, since now we are licensed business in UAE. So now we want to take the next step to have a business plan for the next year and work around that plan. So for that, we are seeking for a professional help, because that is something that we think that me and Mahtab cannot do it. Let us focus on the production part, the creative part and all of those things. But something to related to the business plan and the next year's projection, we would probably seek the best person's help than doing it ourselves.
Yeah.
So that right now in talking terms with some business consultants, and hopefully yes, we have some great plan ready for next year.
Great. Plan or no plan, I can see that you're going to go from strength to strength, numbers to numbers. You said about a metrics of new customers, Mahtab. How many new customers you're adding every month? Are you measuring that, or are you measuring?
Not month, I would say at least every 2 weeks. The reason being, because for example, I take care of Abu Dhabi. So when because Vaishali and I, we do the deliveries by ourselves. So if I have to go to the city, I do like weekly, or I go to the city 2 times a week for deliveries. And at that time, every time I have to go, and if I see like, oh, I have a new customer, it makes me happy. So almost every 2 weeks, at least just for my personal satisfaction, I always check it out on approximately Saturday or Sundays on the weekend. I always just see how many I have. Like if you tell me in this last 2 weeks that I have new customers, about 8 new customers, which I'm just even giving you a figure, because I have a habit of writing. I write a lot. So I was writing, and that's how I figured that I have 8 new customers, and that gives me really a lot of happiness. And of course, out of those 8 also, there are customers who come and they've visited our stalls at the exhibitions, and they've taken our numbers, and they're like, we'll get back to you once our stuff is over. Because once you're going to an exhibition, but doesn't mean you're going to buy everything. You've tasted it, but then you come back, and for me as well, those customers are new as well. So yes, these 2 months have been really good because of the exhibitions as well.
Great. Do you have some kind of Excel sheets where you are monitoring your data, new customers?
Yeah.
How do you reach out? How do you do this kind
So
of
we
stuff?
have we are using WhatsApp Business uh, to send the broadcast to the customers and the weekly updates and something that we launched newly or something that I create a social media post and I send that to the customers. We have our community groups, we have our other uh, Indian women groups and such villa community groups as well. Community
Yeah.
groups
Yeah, but
like
I was asking more from the perspective of are you making some kind of database for your customers? Like, what are their phone numbers?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah,
We
we
have
do
a
have the
data.
database for that. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm glad that this year we have done a majority of the events that happened in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So I think close to around we this year events based just pure events and the customers that walked in on our stalls during these events. We have I'm sure. For Dubai, we have close to like around 300 database customers. Every event we would like have 50 to 80 customer details and someone who has turned up to our stall and tried our products, smelled our spices, and has been aware about what is Kitchen Secret all about. So those contacts and of course, and at the end of the day we do send them messages and it's up to them whether they want to purchase now or after a month or but these many customers are aware about Kitchen Secrets. At least they are aware, and if they are not going to buy, so this happened with me actually. Just to give you an example, someone who must have visited my stall and she got aware about us and everything, and then she sent this contact of mine to her friend saying that, oh, I had seen this stall at one of the exhibitions. So she is not bought something from me, but she spread the word that, oh, somebody might need it. So she has told her friend that, oh, why don't you try this Kitchen Secret, they have these products. So at least her word of mouth has become her friend has become my customer. So that has really helped us. So this year doing n number of events has really increased our sales, our customer database, and also given us confidence that we are doing the right thing in the business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, are there any values that you guys hold close to your heart and don't want to compromise on? I heard the quality bit, but
Something like always put like for us when we talk or when we discuss something, we always say like, if we were in their shoes, we wouldn't like this and we would like it this way. So if we would like it this way, we give it that way, because it's nobody is someone who's everybody what they would like is always something higher in life, and that's one thing which we believe is if we cannot like it or we're not going to buy it, why would we expect someone tomorrow to buy our stuff? So let's give something that we would want to buy. And we're really like, of course, like you said, we've already mentioned about quality, but basic principles like, we have to, like, of course, Vaishali has already spoken about the feedback, but very minor things. Anything that our customer says, we have to, I'm not just always saying, okay, yes, say always yes. No, sometimes we do have one or two of those who just want to, something which goes wrong, but still, we can't let the customer go. For us, that one customer is really what is required. We really work on it and we try our best that full entire customer service comes out over there. And we try to retain that because we want them. And at the same time, we don't compromise on letting our customers go. We just try and just keep them some or the other way. We want that.
true.
And having said that, I think we are very honest with our business and with the customers. So there is no, there's nothing that we are hiding away from them or something that we are, cheating or something like that. So we are honest with our work and that's what is going in our products in terms of the honesty and the determination that, okay, we believe what we are doing and we are putting it out there. And we see that lot of the customers, they get that, and they appreciate a woman entrepreneur who is, hustling with her house, her family, and job. It's not easy what we are
Yeah,
doing.
absolutely.
And I'm not saying that just we are the ones who are doing it. I think a lot of women like us who are doing it, hats off to them, who are running a business. It's not easy, firstly, to run a business, and to run a business with a family and a kid and everything else going on in the background, and be determined every day, wake up and hustling for each and everything. There have been issues and a lot of things and discussions and all, but we take it one day at a time, and then we see, हाँ ठीक है, देख लेंगे. Sometimes she calms me down, sometimes I calm her down. So and I'm so glad that we are doing it as a partnership, because it's so important for a female entrepreneur to have a female partner who understands you and who has your back.
Yeah, true. And nothing like childhood friends to
Yeah.
have your back. Yeah.
I will tell you, I mean, a lot of people who meet us, they envy us so much. They
Yeah,
were like,
because
"Oh
it's not
God."
easy. The journey of a micro entrepreneur is very lonely,
Yeah.
and it helps to have somebody have your back. I completely get it. You you talked about that there are disagreements between you guys. Do you mind walking me through one of the disagreements which was recently there? And just to give a glimpse to our listeners that it is not all hunky-dory. There are challenges, and but it is worth every bit of, that is worth, because it's your own baby.
About me and Matab is that we both are very similar personalities. We are very
We're
strong.
very strong. Yeah, very strong-headed. Yeah.
We are very strong-headed. We are very independent. Probably we have a very similar upbringing because we were in the same vicinity and the same locality, and we are very fierce and we speak our mind. I mean, we don't think what the other person is going to feel like or what. If we believe we are right, we are right.
But
And
that's
of
between
course-
us, not for the
Yeah.
world, Yeah, we're fierce, but at least because as partners, we can tell each other. But however, sorry to cut you here, but however, here, like if Vaishali and I have a disagreement, once, of course, when it all cools down, whoever is realized, okay, we'll be like, sorry,
I'm sorry.
I just realized. So it's okay. And then that's all that it takes, that, I understand, la 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 la, we say this. La. And moreover, why do we say so much? Is because we've grown up together. So it's
Yeah.
like how siblings argue and fight. So that happens here. So, we do have to we have to think about that picture also, because when we started as well, there were a lot of people said, are you sure you want to do this? She's your sister, she's your friend, you're getting
Yeah.
into business with friends, and
Yeah.
we had made this really clear. We do not have to let the business affect our relationship. If that happens, you take it and walk away or something like that. I still remember this conversation.
Yeah.
Where was I sitting also, and where was I having that conversation? I said, don't worry. You calm me down some days, I calm you down some days, and that's how it's going to work.
You asked me
But-
for the example. I'll tell you, very recently it happened. And that too at 1 a.m. in the night, okay?
I didn't want to say that, but okay, if you're saying.
She had asked me to post something about, make a post about. So we have, by the way, newly launched Iranian saffron.
Wow.
We
Very
have
nice.
got the premium quality. That is the newest product that we have launched right now. So we have found a great supplier, and we have tried and tested the saffron, and it's the A quality, premium, top-notch quality saffron that we didn't want it to have any different grades, or we didn't want it to compromise. As you know, that we always seek for something that is the best. So we have got that, and she's like, let's just post it and let's just roll out tonight. So morning people will see it. I said okay, and it was a very tiring day. It was the Diwali time or something like that, and I'm like, okay, so I'm making my post, I'm writing the thing, and I sent it to her. So that is one good thing about both of us, that we seek for approval, casual approval. Okay, okay, I have made this, I'm doing this, tell me how it is. So it just boosts our confidence also. So I sent it to her first, and then she was like, "No, this is like this is like that," and she started giving all negative feedbacks. And at 1 a.m. in the night, I'm super sleepy. And then I started arguing with her. You always have problem with me, so why don't you make it then? And she got mad at me, dude. What's this attitude?
No, because I know Vaishali, she is, because of course she has to wake up early at 6 o'clock for the little one. She has to pack his boxes, and I am someone who's a nocturnal. So I sleep at 3, 4 and I wake up at 9, 9:30, because right now neither am I flying, neither, and my partner flies. So some days what happens is I have to adjust to his timing, because I can't grind the masalas while he's sleeping after a 13-hour flight and coming back home, So I have to keep all that in mind, and then, okay, if I have to do this, it has to go sometimes as per his thing or as per my thing, something like that way. So I know I will work at night, and I know she wakes up early in the morning and she does that. So I was like, you go to sleep right now, we will talk tomorrow, don't worry. Of course that happened, but then later I think
But then
said,
I
okay.
lost my sleep, and then I started telling her something, and she started messaging me something, and it just blown out of proportion a little bit. Then I just realized, thankfully, my sleep went away. Because I don't like getting upset with her, honestly speaking. I think it's same for her also. Like,
Of
we don't
course.
like getting upset with each other, and like just sleep over all the issues and everything. So
Because we
then
know our business already doesn't let us sleep when we have something for tomorrow. It doesn't let us sleep, And on top of this, sorry.
So then I just apologized to her, and I said, okay, I'm sorry. She kept saying, you sleep, we'll talk tomorrow. You sleep, we'll talk. And I went on messaging her like, la la la, this, that. And then she's like, you just go to sleep right now. And I'm like, okay, I realized that, okay, it's my bad. I just overreacted too much. She was just giving an honest feedback, and it is not something to put me down. It was related to our business or something, And of course, we both think for the betterment of the business and what will look nice. And of course, the second opinion is always different than your personal opinion. But then I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, I got a little personal. And see, because we are childhood friends, like more like sisters, we get little personal because we know each other. We have known each other through thick and thin. We have been partners in crimes and everything, So we kind of, everything gets mixed up and all of that. But then I just said sorry to her. I think she was okay after that. And then we went to sleep. So that was just a gist of what happened.
Yeah, it's very normal. I was interviewing if you hear my first podcast, it's a husband and wife who started physiotherapy. And they said that, some of their worst fights have been as business partners and not as partners in life,
Yeah, true.
So it just happens, we all both want the right thing for our business, and I mean, we are human beings. Let us allow ourselves to be humans.
And opinions will clash, because she will have a different opinion towards something and I will have a different opinion. We are different individuals. So, and we just have to come at a midpoint and agree what is beneficial for our business, keeping our personal things aside, and So sometimes it's just the tiredness and the lot of things going on in your mind and everything. So exhaustion and all of that together. So that's why probably it happens. But then we know, I mean, it will get sorted, and then we are back to normal.
Tell me one more thing. You talked about collaboration and you're thinking of collaborating because you also understand that as just two, you have just 24 into 2 hours in a day, and there's just that much you can do. So I love what you are doing in dairy business. You're collaborating with somebody else. You are bringing their product to us. Also in achars, you're doing that, and pickles, you're doing that. So I'm sure you are thinking of collaboration. I also want to know about, 1.5 years. What's been your high point? The thing that when you reflect back on the 1.5 year journey, like you're beaming, wow, we did it.
I think this last 2 months. I think this last 2 months, since the time everyone has got back after the holidays in August end, when the Indian festivals have begun, I think we have been on our toes been in pop-up markets, be it exhibitions, be it on the face of. So this was the best period of our 1.5 year journey, where we were like on the face of people, with Kitchen Secrets showcasing our products. Until now, we were at the back end. Nobody knew who are these girls. Nobody knew. Yes, people had tried our masalas here and there, everything. But when you are in front of people, we don't have a retail store. We are an online e-commerce business. So when we were in these 3 months, we were at places in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, and exhibiting our stuff and talking about our products. I mean, see, it's not easy, firstly, because we have to repeat the same thing again and again, because every time you're seeing a new customer, you have to repeat your background, you have to say your products and everything. But I kid you not, okay, you will see the excitement on me and Mata's face repeating the same words 100 times, 200 times. We did like 8-9 events in this 3 months, but with that excitement and enthusiasm, because it's a new prospect customer. So that was the best, I think, period of our entire journey, where we went all out. We were tired as hell, but still, like at the end of the night, we were so exhausted, but we felt like, okay, we achieved something today.
Yeah. It was a happy sleep.
Yeah. 3 months.
Markets are exhausting, actually.
Yeah,
Markets
because we had
are-
5 days back to back, Friday, Saturday, and the thing was, when we're doing exhibitions, if it's in Dubai, I go there. If it's in Abu Dhabi, she comes here. But however, we've had days where we've got 2 exhibitions in a day, like in Abu Dhabi and Dubai as well. So if it's been like that, like if it's today, we have it at both places. We're taking care of that. And then tomorrow, if it's in Abu Dhabi, she finishes that, goes home late, wakes up early morning, comes here, stays the night, or if we have next day Dubai, then we finish that, go to Dubai. That is the main challenge part here, but it was all worth it, like really worth it, and we enjoyed it. Of course,
And
you do
what-
say, oh my God, I'm tired, but it's fine.
Yeah,
As
you
we
don't.
both come similarly from a customer, I've come from retail. So for me, of course, at the end, product is sold to the customer, right? So for her, she was a cabin crew. So again, a customer service based job. So we love talking to people. We have done that all our lives. So when we got that space for our own baby, for our own brand, so we went all out. I think the excitement was next level, and I think we both really enjoyed this 3 months of,
Yeah,
exhibiting our products and everything.
True.
That was the highlight of a 1.5 year journey.
True, true. But as you do more and more markets and as you mature, I'm sure you will realize which markets are worth it and
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
markets you will skip. So I will come
Right.
back to you when others who are starting out, and to borrow on that knowledge about what markets work in Dubai and what not.
Yeah.
Sometimes a consistent market works.
Yeah.
Every
Right.
week on a particular day, you are
Right.
there. People know that they can come there and pick your product.
Correct. Yeah. It depends on the product completely.
But that's how, like Vaishali and I, in fact, it was Vaishali who told me also that it's good that we're doing all these different exhibitions this year, but at least by next year, we know which ones to eliminate.
Absolutely.
Because at the end, of course, we want our products to be showcased and marketed, but at the end, we're even paying for that table, and it's not a small
Absolutely.
amount. What happens
Absolutely.
is, people who are doing other businesses like clothes and jewelry, right? They have a big margin. But for masalas, it's a very small margin. So to cover that price of the table is something, I'm not saying, we have to make 10 times. No, but we have to make something where at least it's covered. Or at least if our product, at least even if we don't have sales, if we have people's contact and database, we're happy. We've had exhibitions where we didn't have much of sales, but at the same time, we had contacts and those guys have come back to us after a month, whose numbers we've taken. So we've done good there, and that's how it works, and we're happy with that.
Great. When you look back at your 1.5 year journey, and if I were to ask you what are your nuggets of wisdom for somebody who's starting out, what would you say that these are 2 or 3 things they should be conscious about?
Firstly, I think just believe in yourself that you will get there, and hard work, just believe in yourself and keep doing it. I mean, just don't get eager for the results. I mean, you will not get results instantly, firstly. Even we were struggling for first 6 months or 8 months, to understand the whole logistics, the whole procedures, and how we're going to streamline certain things and all of that. So it takes a while. We are still learning, and we are not yet. Of course, we cannot say that we have achieved everything, but it's the believing in yourself, that confidence that helps to start with.
Great. Mata, yours.
For me, if you're starting, like for example, if you're starting with 2 partners, yeah, make sure the one you choose, you trust them blindly. Yes, when you start, it's very easy to say, I trust you, but you need to trust them. Like, you shut your eyes and you're like, no, if she's done this, it could be a mistake. You have to think that, not like, oh, she's done this, she's gonna, screw me back. The reason I say this is because, touchwood, no matter what Vaishali and I go through, we know we trust each other. Yes, in fights you say things, but I believe trust is very, very important before you start a business. If you're doing it by yourself, okay, you have no one with you, that's fine, it's your baby. But you're doing it with someone. The reason I say this as well is because my cousin, she started a business back in Ahmedabad with private jets and stuff. And her partner and starting this thing for an aviation school is not a small amount of money that you put in, And after 2 or 3 years, got to know that the business partner totally took her over and her business shut down, and he took everything over without her knowing it because she trusted him blindly. So you need to know that person in and out. You're starting with a new person, I would say take 1 more year just to know that person and then start, because it's not, for me, if I start something, I will not end it easily. I am one of those. I will not end it. I will stretch it till I know, okay, no, but you have to, if you're going to stretch it, you have to trust. Trust word is very important for me, very important in life.
And Mata really has trust issues, okay?
I do have in my personal life, because I have always been, people have always taken advantage of me as, whatever, in my friendships and stuff like that. Because I'm like, go, if I have it, I'll give it to you. I'm like one of those. But so I have big trust issues. So if I say I trust someone is very,
it's a very big thing.
So for me, in a business, I have so many, 2 of my friends also who want to start, and I said, just if you're starting, do you trust him? Don't start because you're in love with him. No, I'm sorry. You love, that's very different for me. I don't care. It's a very different part of life. But you're starting your business, which is going to be your baby. You're going to do, like when I used to do flights, when I used to come back from flights at 1 o'clock, people sit and watch Netflix, each to its own. But I was like, oh my God, I have these orders tomorrow, I have to prepare. So I would be happy to stand in the kitchen, do things till 4 and 5, sleep, wake up again at 10, go for a flight. That was my thing. And this used to make me happy. Why? Because I trusted in my partner, in my product. It is very important. Things will fall. Believe me, you put in your hard work, you will see things are, then of course, God's plan and destiny is something different, but you have to trust in yourself and your partner.
Great. So these are 2 things you shared. Is there anything else that I'm missing out that you would like to share about your journey? Because this is supposed to be an inspiration for people who are wanting to start but sitting on the fence because of any reason, XYZ reason. It could be there, but your journeys are supposed to inspire others. So is there anything else that they should be knowing that we haven't talked about or I haven't asked you about?
I think it's just the determination and that, wanting to do something. Just one idea is enough. You just believe in it and you're determined that you want to do something out of it, and you just go ahead.
And I also believe, you have these signs, like for example, this masala thing. In COVID, my partner and I, he's not a cooking expert or something, but we thought of it and I had it in my notes. I had about 11 things that I wanted to start with him, okay? He said, we will do it, and we were going to start it. But because of my studying was so much that I was 16 hours studying a day, and after a gap of 15 years, getting back to books wasn't easy. So of course, that plan didn't work out. But then, somewhere at the back of your mind, it's going on and on and on. And at that point, when you have something in your mind going in, I always say this: believe in signs. He's always the one on top, is always giving you signs. So believe in that, and if you want to do it, you get it. Like Vaishali mentioned, when I went to India, I had an India trip planned, but that was for my medical reason that I had it planned, and it was a sudden thing, and I had to be rushed within 24 hours. It was something like that, nothing major, but still. But I didn't tell my parents I'm going to do this business or that. I didn't start, because first, let me figure this. I still remember I had my MRI and I'm sitting out with dad, and mom had just called me, and then I had 2 MRIs in the morning, and then while we're heading home, the doctor calls me saying you have to come back for another MRI. We couldn't do something properly. So that 1 hour later, I'm sitting. I had gone for the sticker guy to see our brand logo, to figure that. Mom's like, where are you? You have to go. I said, Mama, I'm going to start this. And I still remember, she's someone who'll support me throughout, but you have to do this. You can give a break to this. You think about your health. Moms, But I was like, no, Ma, I have to do this. I have only 1 week here and I'm going to do it. And at that time, then when I'm in the MRI, I'm thinking, no, this chili and I still remember, this chili is like this clove should be like that. These are the things running in my head. And I said, Khalas, if I'm not thinking about a song or about my life right now, sitting in an MRI machine, I'm thinking about the logo. I am going to do this. And then I got out, and that evening I remember is when I told my parents about it. So I just feel, believe in science. It'll happen. What has to happen will happen.
Great, great. Thank you so much, Mahtab and Vaishali. If you like this interview, please don't forget to subscribe by pressing the bell icon and follow us on our social media handles as we talk to more and more micro entrepreneurs who are living their dreams boldly.